Good morning. This is my second video for the day. My first one was live, and today was a good day of revelation, I'm telling you. So, first things first, I made a live this morning, and I left there and went to Wells Fargo Bank to ask for the whole statements of what she gave me to investigate all of it because of my revelations that came in my dream doing what God told me to do. And so when I went in there, I had to be right because she wouldn't give me any statements, so I recorded it. And I recorded me asking, I'm just here to ask for, you gave me statements. First of all, she wouldn't look at them, number one. Second of all, she wouldn't give them to me. She went and got somebody else. I said, why are you not in a computer? You the branch manager. You're not trying to help me at all. She made every excuse in the world on why she couldn't help me, asking all kind of questions. But the Lord told me to listen to what she asking you because they actually called herself. I said, when I got back to Georgia in 2020, I said, why did the police give me my ID with my old ID number on there that was already turned in? So basically, when I left Georgia and went to South Carolina, when you get a South Carolina ID, you got to turn that in. That number is supposed to be no longer supposed to be no longer registered. It's supposed to kind of cut it out, or once it's expired, or whatever the situation is. She called herself, and she actually got the police in a lot of trouble because she said, was that your ID when you got this account? She was pointing to the account in 2013. So you're basically trying to say you was using the name Crystal Ketchup in 2013. No, I wasn't, but you actually caught yourself, because what you're basically saying, if that's the case, then you're admitting to what I already had was a problem, which is in my notebook. Why did the police give me my old ID back, but put Crystal Ketchup on there? So then it looks like you've been using Crystal Ketchup since this time. Caught her. I'm glad she did that. So I went in there where she thought she was hurting me. No, you helped me, because that's already in my notebook. That's already in my notes. Like, why did they give me my old ID back? Didn't even make no sense. So she wouldn't give me the whole account. When I came out of there, they rerouted my phone. My phone had been doing so much stuff this morning. It don't make no sense. From the being forwarded to being switched over to Facebook accounts that don't show, to uploading information to Facebook accounts that's not, to being associated with the wrong lives, to people being in the parking lot with transactions, to even at Wells Fargo Bank this morning, her trying to lure me to be around the counter so it looked like I'm in there getting money out the bank or doing something with money. She kept saying, come to the window so I can service you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and write this complaint, and I'm going to record myself dropping it in their box. And then, matter of fact, and then I'll move on from there. And we'll let that be to the glory of God. And that go to show you that what the enemy meant for harm, God going to work it out for good. Because I clearly said, all I need is my bank statements. I'm not here to talk to you. I'm not here to hang out. I don't want to be in this bank. Any account number that you said I'm associated with, you should be able to give me the bank statement. I don't want to talk. It's nothing to talk about. I didn't come in here to be friends. I didn't come in here to participate or be lured or be trapped in your reverse psychology interrogations. I came in here to ask you a question, to give me those statements, because I had an account with you, a specific account that I know about for a long time, and you ain't give me but 4 transactions. Ma'am, go back and give me my transactions, or I'm gonna call the police on you. And I did, and I knew I was right, because guess what, the police didn't come. So it's fine. That was fine too. Long as I know, anytime the people act like that and they get to asking all kinds of questions, she did exactly. That's why God said, be quiet and listen. Listen to what the lady said. She said, is this your ID when you open this account? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I told her, thank you. Ma'am, how can, first of all, two things. How am I verifying an account that I'm here to investigate? That's number one. And number two, I came back to Georgia in 2020 and got my ID. That's why she said that, because the police is going behind me trying to change up information. But she said, is that your ID? You know going well. Look at the date, retarded, jackass. The date on the driver's license tell you when I got it. She's retarded. They're trying to make so much information that they're not paying attention to the fact of, listen, what you're saying. You know I wasn't Crystal Ketchup in this date. Look at your statement, ma'am, at the name on it. You're being retarded. You're being dumb. You're trying to catch me up in false information. You're being stupid. You're being just stupid. And she said, you can't record in my bank. I'm recording you. Call the police and tell them about it. And I'm taking pictures of all these white men on the wall. Call the police and tell them about it. You don't like it? Matter of fact, call the feds and tell them. What are they going to do? Who cares at this point? Anything to get me in court. And her name was Huma, Hassan, Hasan. I called the police department this morning, 911. And she would not call the fraud department. They never let me do that. And she would not verify any information. The CAD number to the police department this morning was RC 22045090. Even 911 was discriminatory and told me you got to have a residence to file an identity theft report. And so that means that they're going to get sued too, because you're telling me, and they didn't send nobody out. So basically you're saying homeless people do not count, and we do not service them if they have identity theft issues, because you got to have an address. She told me the police only come to an address. And I said, well, I don't know. She said, you have to go to the police department or not. I don't have no gas. So that meant what? You're at a disadvantage, of which they're just telling you stuff that they know you can't do because they know your situation. And this is exactly why, like I said, it makes it easy for them to degrade. I gotta go out here and see what's going on there in my truck. There's somebody moving around it. Because that makes you susceptible to police profiling when they clearly make judgment calls around you based on what your limitations are and what your strengths are. And that's exactly how they hold African Americans down. Period. So that's what I wanted to say today. I'll be back in a live after I get this complaint typed up, and I'll be back. Thanks.